Lake Winnipesaukee is a small amusement park located in very north Georgia. It's actually just past the border of Tennessee into Georgia. It's located in Chattanooga, so it's like barely in Georgia. The park is home to 3 roller coasters, 2 steel and 1 wood. And I tell you, this is a very quirky park. I think it does some good things and it does some bad things. So let's kind of talk the basics here. So this park is a free admission park. You actually get a hand stamp that allows you to ride all the rides. However, first thing I want to talk about, I don't think we got our hand stamps checked once. If you didn't have a hand stamp, you could probably ride the rides here without any issue. So anyway, so you walk in, the park kind of forms this loop around this big lake in the center. So I guess that's Lake Winnie. And you can actually take paddle boats out there, which is pretty cool. And the paddle boats are included on the wristband, which is pretty nice. So we went paddle boating at Lake Winnie, which I liked. So overall, I like the lake. Really helps add to that classic amusement park feel, especially when you have the sky ride going over the lake, their Viking ship ride just on the edge of it. So that's cool. The park in general has lots of flat rides. Pretty much any classic carnival ride that you can think of they have, including a super loop. They do have a super loop. They also have this crazy top spin thing. It's like one of the smaller models where the arms can go different directions. That thing is crazy. They also have some really wacky ones that I'd never seen before. There's one next to Cannonball that like goes really super fast in a circle, and I'm like, whoa, this thing was insane. But talking about the park in general, there isn't really a lot of shade here, and this park gets super humid. So to me, that was kind of one of the big downsides. It just gets super hot here, and so you think, okay, well, if it's going to be super hot, you'll probably want to get some water. Well, at Lake Winnie, you cannot get free water, which is one of the only places in the world that I have ever seen where they actually charge for water. So just a word of advice, bring your own water bottles here. They'll allow you to do that. They even make you pay for ice, which I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? So that was a ripoff. Another thing to note, this park is really expensive, like more expensive than it should be. Like I know amusement parks kind of have the stereotype that they're expensive, but like a lot of the food stuff here just seems like way too overpriced. So I didn't eat here. I wouldn't really recommend it, especially with where the park is located. You can easily just grab some food at one of the nearby businesses. One thing I thought was kind of quirky, if you have any trash, you actually throw it in the mouth of a clown. All these trash cans are just giant clown mouths, and I didn't even realize that at first. I was looking for a trash can. I'm like, I don't see any. And then it occurred to me, I'm like, oh, it's the clown thing. So that was really weird. But I mean, it's cool. It's quirky. So now I want to talk about some of the policies here. So going back off of the no free water thing, there's some really kind of odd policies here. First of all, pretty much the only rides where they actually check your restraint are Cannonball, Wild Lightning, which is the wild mouse, and the drop tower. If you ride anything else, it's just kind of you do your own restraint and we'll trust that you have it right. I got dispatched on the wacky worm without my lap bar down. I rode a wacky worm without a restraint. I mean, it's a wacky worm, so like you're fine if you don't do anything stupid. But still, I was like, are you serious? The boat ride doesn't even have a restraint. Oh, that one's actually kind of cool because it actually skips out over the lake. But I think some of this kind of all goes back to the employees because in general, I was not really impressed with the associates at this park. I mean, obviously, I don't want to make a blanket statement because everyone's different, but we had a few encounters that was not the best. One of my friends got mocked by one employee for literally no reason. Another employee was on her phone the whole time, not even paying attention. On the drop tower, I had one employee tell me that I couldn't wear my sunglasses even though they had a strap on them. So they were like really strict on that policy. But then on other policies, you can ride with like a bag and everything and like have all these loose articles with you. So they're just really lenient on some policies and then others really strict on, which is really kind of weird. Also for Wild Lightning, the wild mouse thing, they have voiceover instructions in the station and it repeats itself over and over again every 6 seconds. Yes, I timed it. As soon as the spiel ends, 6 seconds later, it starts over again. So as you can imagine, that gets really annoying, especially since all it is saying is, this is an intense ride, and, you know, okay, it's a wild mouse. I mean, it is a really extreme wild mouse. Probably the most aggressive wild mouse I've ever ridden, but, I mean, still. So, in general, for Lake Winnie, is it worth visiting? I mean, I guess if you don't have any other places to visit and you're just looking to kill time, I mean, if you're in the area, I mean, maybe. I mean, again, it's kind of pay per ride. You get a wristband, it's free parking. But, like, I don't think it's really worth going out of your way for. It's kind of a cute little place, I guess, but also, like, I feel like we didn't have the best experience there, especially when you have Dollywood 2 hours north and Six Flags Over Georgia 2 hours south. I feel like there isn't really a reason to go here unless you really just want the credits, which is honestly kind of the reason why we went. So do I recommend Lake Winnie? Not really. I mean, it's all right, I guess. It's really nothing to shout at. But, I mean, hey, that's just my thoughts on Lake Winnipesaukee in Chattanooga, Georgia. Let me know if you've been here, what you think of it, if you agree with my thoughts. You can post all those down in the comment section below. And, of course, stay tuned for more park reviews here at Coaster Studios.